Hi guys, today we're going to be going over how to use my reseller inventory and sales database for the app Airtable. You will need to create an Airtable account to use this database, but you can stick to the free version. I have some add-ons that I'll be showing off at the end of the video, and those will need an upgrade. However, for the majority of the stuff in the database, you can stick to free. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do after creating an account, open up your Airtable account, and you should see right here at the bottom will be the database that I have shared with you. So you'll need to create your own, and this is a read-only version. So there's a little drop-down button right here. Scroll down, click Duplicate Base. You will want to keep the records in it. This will give you an example of everything that's in there, so you're not working with something that's completely empty. So you'll go ahead and choose your workspace and click Duplicate. So workspaces are these areas. It's a collection of spreadsheets, or bases as Airtable calls them. So it is a workspace. This is going to be what's been shared with you. This is going to be what you have when you sign up. I do believe when you first create your account, you'll have a few extras here that they kind of throw in as an example of what you might need. You are welcome to delete any of those if you want, whatever you want to do. Okay, so you now have your copy. This is going to be something that you can edit, that you can change. This is your permanent base. If you would like, you can come over here and open up the collaborators and remove yourself from the list of collaborators. Just click this little X by your name. That is your choice if you want to do that or not. If you'd like to stay on this and see any edits I might make in the future, you can keep it. Okay, so you will open up your base. What you'll see when you first open this base, you kind of get a little bit of everything. You've got an app panel over here. You've got your views right here. To get a clean look at it, we're going to go ahead and close out a little bit of this. Click this X right above apps. Get rid of that. The free version, you cannot use apps anyway, so that is completely useless to you. Keep it gone. Over here, the views. This is different ways you can view your table. We're going to go ahead and click views right now to minimize. We just want to see our inventory, right? So this is our live inventory, nothing sold, everything that is for sale. It can be listed or unlisted, anything that is not sold. So we'll talk about how we enter all this information in. Okay. So to enter in your inventory, typically I don't have a tag number until after, but it's however you do your inventory. I like to start as I am prepping my item. I add in the brand, I add in department, category, size, condition. I may or may not have my cost of goods already calculated. It just depends on how you do things, what order you typically run your business in. But you want to enter in whatever information you have on the front end. When I take my photo, I add it in here under photos. It helps as a quick reference when you're scrolling through your items to know that you're looking at the right thing. So brand, department, category. These are all going to be drop-down menus. When you open it up, you've got all these things to choose from. If you type in something new, it will add it as an extra option. For sorting, categorization purposes, you are going to want to, every once in a while, alphabetize them. They don't automatically alphabetize. So to do that, I'm going to do it under brand. You right-click right where it says brand, hit Customize Field Type. Here it will show you every single option you've got. You can add options if you want. Again, if you type them into that box, it'll add an option, but if you want to add it from here, you can do that too. But every so often, once I've added in a few new brands, I've been listing a bunch of stuff, I'll come up and I'll alphabetize. Hit save. So what that's going to do is whenever you sort your items by brand, it will keep them in alphabetical order. Reason being, when you sort by brand, it does first to last, last first, not alphabetical. So to keep them alphabetical, you need to do that. Okay, moving on. So you're entering in all of your information, your color, your details. I typically put what my title is going to be, and then maybe add a couple extra things, like if there is a small stain and I don't want to forget about it, I put that in the details. Your measurement set, this is going to automatically fill in for you based on the category you choose. So right now I have this one as tops, and it fills in bust, shoulder, sleeves, and length. Say I switched this to skirts, obviously it's not a skirt, but it's going to automatically change that to waist, hips, hem length. If this needs to be changed for you, this is specifically how I measure in order every single time, and this is also how I enter it into my listings. If it needs to be changed for you, reach out to me. I can walk you through how to do it, or I can make a version especially for you. That is no problem. It won't take any time at all. Just let me know. So what I do is this measurement set fills out. These are the things I need to add. So right here, I put those measurements in the same order. I like to put a space in between the number and the dash, and the reason I do that is sometimes there might be two measurements for something. For instance, rise right here, I did a front and back rise. I don't always do front and back, but I have in the past, so I don't put a space in between those, and that lets me know that both of those measurements are for that one type of measurement. You can do it different ways if you want to write them out differently. However you want to do it, whatever's going to work for you, feel free to do that, but this is how I do it. All right, then we've got weight. If you list a lot on eBay, or if you use Mercari's labels and you need that weight on the front end, you can weigh it on, and enter it in here so you don't forget. Sometimes I use weight, sometimes I don't. So then we have our list date. A lot of times I'll leave this blank until later. You can see this one's blank. This is something that I put all the information in, and I wasn't going to list it till later. I add that in later. Listed on. This is going to be your platforms. You can see I don't have any of those filled out. I use Vendu. That sorts out where I have everything listed. If you don't have that, you might want to put listed on right here. Value. So this is going to be your retail value of the item, and this is going to be what you're planning to list for. This is all here so that if you are making notes as you go but aren't listing until later, then later you want to list quickly, you have all this at your fingertips. So you can quickly reference what you figured out before when you were checking comps and you were keeping it on the back burner to be able to list while you're in line at the grocery store, or list while you're waiting on an appointment. The purpose of this is to be able to do this from anywhere. Sit and do your research while you're watching TV, list later. All right, so then we have sources. If you'd like to keep track of where you sourced things from, again, this is a drop-down menu. Anytime you add in a new one, it's going to add in an option. Okay, receipt number. So if you would like to keep track of how profitable certain shopping trips were, or if you purchase pallets of inventory and want to keep track of how profitable those pallets are, put your receipt number here. That's going to come into play on a different tab later. So we will go over that, but this is going to be where you put that receipt number. If you hit that plus button, whatever you've already entered in will show up here. So if you're copying the same receipt number onto multiple items, it's going to all show up here. However, you can also type it in directly into the box. It's going to pop up, and you click that Add New Record, and that's going to add in the receipt number you just typed in. All right, so this is for consignment. If this is for a consignment client, click this little checkbox right there. You can add in the client's name. This is the estimate of what you think this item is going to sell for and what percentage you're going to pay that client. Specifically, I built this for the app Flip because that is the only way I've consigned so far. If you do it differently, absolutely we can make changes to the sheet. Some things might not be affected if you do them differently, some things will. So if we need to change certain things, that absolutely can happen. Again, reach out to me and we can figure out what's best for you. A lot of this will come into play later on how things are calculated. And if you do it differently than how it is done through Flip, those calculations could change. When an item sells, here's the sold checkbox. You are just going to click on that checkbox. I'm not clicking on one right now because what's going to happen is the item will immediately erase from this page. This page has a filter set up. Sold is empty. So once sold gets clicked, it filters off of this page. Another thing I want to show you is hidden fields. So everything green are the fields that are on this page. A field is a column. Everything gray is fields I have hidden. So if there is anything you don't use, say you don't do consignment clients, right click right here at the top where it says consignment, click hide field. We can go ahead and hide client, go ahead and hide estimate, go ahead and hide payout percent. You don't need any of that because you don't do consignment. I would recommend hiding versus deleting in case you change your mind later and want to reactivate that. You come over here, find where it says consignment, and you just unhide it, and it's all back there. Anything you delete, you might not be able to use again in the future. Not to mention, there might be formulas in the page that rely on that field being live. Leaving it blank won't affect those formulas. However, deleting it entirely could affect those formulas. So it would be safer if you just hide it, don't delete it. Okay, so let's look at our views. So this is our live inventory, right? This is everything that's live, listed or unlisted, anything that's just not sold. Sorry. All right, so if you click on views right here, we have lots of options. First, we'll skip over these guys. I have a view. Let's click this little down arrow so we can see everything. I have a view for every category. Each of these is fairly simple. Click on it and it is sorted by bags. I have the filters here for anything that is not sold and anything that's in the category bags. There are a couple that are joint categories. For instance, we have beauty. This one has hair, makeup, skincare, and bath and body. Yep, that's all of it. So you can do that on any pages. If you want to combine pants and jeans, you can go to the jeans one, go to filters, and change category to be is any of, and then you can choose jeans and pants. It's up to you how you want to do that. Let's go to filters. I'm going to change it back. I like to keep mine separate. It depends on how much stuff you have or how separated you like it to be. This is a lot of views to deal with. So if you don't want to deal with that, you want to combine some, you want to remove some, that's fine. It is up to you. I also have a view specifically right here for consignment. So if you just want to look at your consignment clients, that's there. Source, this is just sorting everything by your source. Personally, on my own inventory, I actually removed this view. I didn't need it, but if you would like to look at things from that perspective, it's there. I'm going to scroll back up to the top, and we're going to look at these other guys. So sold inventory. Anytime you click that sold checkbox, this is going to pop up here. And we're going to go over what you need to add to this page in just a moment. Unlisted. Anything that is live inventory that does not include a list date is going to go here. I personally love this view because I like to put in so many items at a time and I don't list them until later. And this helps me see at a glance what I need to get fully listed into my platforms. Another view actually that I just added today to my own sheet and haven't added to this one, but I will. We'll do that right now. You can duplicate any view. I wanted to put untagged. So what I mean by this is anything that does not have an inventory tag yet. You might have listed it and you just haven't put it into your inventory boxes. And we're going to change this filter to be, it can be, let's see, not list date empty, tag number empty. So unsold, tag number empty. Because honestly, if it sells before you get your tag number on it, who cares about the tag number? So we're going to have anything that does not have a tag number, anything that has not been officially inventoried. So that way you can come here to reference that if you need to. Okay, so let's look at our sold inventory. And you know, I said I wasn't going to click sold on one of these items, but let's do it. Let's click sold on something that has all its information. This guy. Click that sold button. Automatically it disappears from the page. So we're going to come over to sold inventory and it's now at the top. Let's hide our views so we can get a better view of this. Okay, so we're going to start with what is the order number for the platform. So we're going to just say it's A11 since A1 already exists. A11. It was sold on Poshmark. So something that happens, I do keep this page grouped by the platform that it's sold on. So when you click on that, it's going to automatically drop down into the Poshmark group. You can continue down the line. If you don't click away from it, you can stay on that line item and continue typing. You know what I want to do is unhide the cost of goods. I'd like to see my cost of goods. We'll just put it right in front of the sold price. Make sure that I sold it for a lot more than it's worth. So let's say we sold this for $24. And we sold it, let's say the 24th. Here, we sold it on the 20th. I'm a little behind on updating my numbers. I don't want to sort by brand. I want to sort by sold date. Okay, so it should pop down to the bottom of our Poshmark. We do not have to deal with taxes or shipping and handling. These two lines are very specific to certain platforms. If you hover over right here, you can see where I have it typed out a little bit more. Taxes charged to buyer is specifically for eBay. Reason being, eBay includes taxes in the order total that they send you, and they take the fee off of the order total with those taxes. However, you can't calculate that on the front end because sales tax is different for every single state. So it depends on where your buyer is. And there's no way you can include every single different tax bracket, keep up with them. So this is going to be something that you need to enter every single time you make a sale on eBay. If you want to. Depending on the price of the item, this is pennies difference. So you may or may not want to keep up with that at all. It took me up until I was working on this sheet to even realize that they did that. So it's the difference in your profit is not much. It's entirely up to you if you want to track it. But everything, all the formulas are going to take that extra amount into account. So that is taxes for eBay. Shipping and handling paid, if included in item total. That's going to be anything where you put in an amount that you're charging to the buyer for shipping. It comes through on your order total, but you go and pay shipping separately. That's going to be your eBay, your Grailed, your Depop, your Tradesy. You tell it, I'm going to charge this much for shipping. Even if it's eBay and it's calculated. eBay calculates that this is how much we're charging for shipping. However, you pay a different amount on the back end. That needs to be calculated separately if you'd like to keep track of what that item actually sold for. And I'll give you an example right here. And keep in mind, these are all completely arbitrary numbers. I literally just typed in without even really paying attention. So let's say on this eBay item, that cost me $8. Taxes, they paid 23 cents. Shipping and handling, they paid $5. So I want to know, I'm sorry, sold price was 35. I want to know how much that item actually sold for, because if I'm going to sell it again, that's how much it sold for, $29.77. That shipping and handling paid does not matter anywhere other than I want to know what my item total is. If you don't need to know that, you don't want to keep track of that, absolutely hide this field. It's not necessary. It's not going to do anything for any of the formulas. All it does is tell you what that item actually sold for. Okay, back up to Poshmark. So what happens when you put in this sold platform, it's automatically going to calculate the platform fee. It does this based on the order total. So if you have a bundle of 4 items, it's going to calculate that platform fee based on the total of that 4-item bundle. And I say that because if you use Poshmark or you use Tradesy, you know under a certain dollar amount, it charges X amount. Over a certain dollar amount, it charges based on percentage. This is still going to be a percentage of this item, but it needs to know that that total order was over $15 so that it can charge 20%. And this tab is where it figures that out. This is why the order number is important, because every single item that has that same exact order number goes into the order total and tells the system, charge 20%, not $2.95. I'm hoping I'm making sense. It can seem a little bit complicated when you're looking at it from the formula standpoint, but I want you to understand why you need to put these numbers in if you want it to calculate properly. Okay. Additional fees, if you are selling on Depop and you have, does Depop, I think Depop has PayPal fees. Throw in your PayPal fees here. Shipping. Any shipping costs, did you give a shipping discount on Poshmark? Any shipping costs for different platforms, put that here. Payout. This is for your consignment clients. This automatically calculates based on the payout percentage you put on the other page and the sold price you put on this page. It automatically figures that out for you and tells you what that payout is going to be, what you should be paying that client. Because this is based on Flip, and Flip takes the shipping cost out, this actually does take the sold price, subtracts shipping, and then applies your percentage to it. If you do consignment differently and you keep that shipping price in there, that can be fixed. Again, reach out to me. I can help you fix this formula. If you'd like to try it yourself, it should be as simple as removing this little shipping guy right here. But if you don't want to screw anything up, reach out to me, I'll help you. If you do decide to mess with it and something happens and everything's gone berserk on the page, there's this handy dandy undo button. Just undo what you did. We can get it fixed. All right, item profit. This also automatically calculates. This takes your cost of goods, your sold price, all of your fees, everything into account, and gives you your final profit after all is said and done. This is what you made on the item. I also have where it calculates your return on investment and your margin, if you'd like to see those. So yeah, that is it on the sold page. All right, so let's go over and look at, let me make sure there's nothing else here. Unlisted, untagged. Oh, at the very, very bottom, by the way, I do have full inventory. This literally has everything. I hardly have any fields hidden. So if you just want to see every single column, every single row, all of it all in one place, it's here. It's a lot of information, obviously, but if you just want to make sure you're not missing anything, you have access to that. All right, so we're going to go over and look at orders. Everything on this page fills out by itself. You don't have to add anything. The only reason this page even exists is to keep those bundle orders together. So here we have a bundle order. Both of these items on the sold page received the same order number. So they are now on the same line item, same order, and what it does is it's going to calculate the total cost of goods for the order and the total order price. And this is, again, this goes into that formula on the sold page. That total is $25. That's important because that tells the inventory page to calculate 20% as the fee rather than $2.95 if it was telling you that you sold that one dress for $10 and it wants to charge you $2.95 fees. It's very important that it charges 20%, not $2.95. So that's where that total order comes into play. Everything else, it totals up your shipping and handling, your taxes, your actual item cost, fees, additional fees, shipping, payout, everything that goes into each of those items is going to total it up in a total order for you here. This can be a handy page if you'd like to look at some total numbers. Let's see. For instance, we'll scroll over. You've got sold on Poshmark. We have total sales $138. You have total profit on Poshmark $88.04. So it can give you some totals. It can give you some sort of analytics without you needing the add-on apps to get those same analytics. If you come over here to views, I also have it by monthly sales, profit by source, and profit by category. So click on any of these guys. Here you've got it sorted by month, so you can see all those numbers by month, even how many items sold month to month. Come over here and click profit by source, and here you're sorted by source. You can see your profit for that source, and this is going to be everything for 2021. And then also by category. Everything for 2021 is going to be right here. Expenses. So this is where you go to put in any of your expenses. Here we've got your receipt number. So this Goodwill blue box. Receipt number 1, 12 items, so they should each come out to be $250. So every single inventory item that came in that Goodwill blue box, I'm going to put receipt number 1 on it. Then each of those items should be $250, and this kind of just gives you a breakdown. You can, oh, here we go, another field that I added earlier that I forgot. I will do now. We'll add a date. So if you would like to put the actual day that this occurred next to the month, you can do that. Also going to change this to currency. Okay, so that's going to be all set up so you can keep track of your expenses for taxes and just kind of track everything you do. Sourcing, this is going to be the page where you can track what your profit is per shopping trip, per pallet if you purchase pallets. That receipt number that you put in on those other pages ties to here. This is going to put your source in where you got it, and right here type that receipt total. So what you can do with this is once you have that cost of goods entered in every single item separately, this totals it together so you can kind of compare. Being off by a little bit isn't a big deal. A lot of times rounding might play into that. But that just helps you see how close they are, see if you're missing anything. This totals up the retail value of every single item that you put on this receipt, fees, all the costs. So every time you sell an item that is on this receipt and you add those fees in, it automatically adds to this page. So it keeps a running total of what your profit is for this receipt. And right here, if you open this guy, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's open the receipt. Obviously, I have different sources in there. I clicked things at random. Oops. You can scroll down and see every single item that is locked in on this guy. And so it kind of helps you track everything from that pallet, shopping trip, what have you. Okay, so as I was going through my edits, I saw something that I thought I could change and make even better, because that is what I always do with this sheet. So if you'll see on the sourcing page, I decided to add in a count for items and items sold. These are going to pull from anything that you have tagged on this receipt. So it's going to count any items you have tagged right here. So the total, and any items that are sold that are also on this receipt are going to tag here. And then it'll tell you the percentage sold you have from this receipt. So hopefully that's a little addition that I can squeeze in real quick before I get this posted live, and it'll help you guys out. All right, back to the video. All right, so that is the sourcing tab. All right, so the final thing that we want to look at is the option that is only on the upgraded Airtable. So we're going to have to log out of this guy. That's my bonus. We're going to go to my actual Airtable app. So I do have the upgrade. So here is shareable inventory. So this is what you should be looking at. Over here, you've got apps. What I've done is I've set up a bunch of apps that are going to give you analytics. I did show you that you can see all of this on your orders page. You can find all of this information, but it's not on your pretty charts. So if you choose to upgrade to the paid version of Airtable that gives you apps, you get the pretty charts. So we have a couple different dashboards. Profit by month, is going to give you your actual profit. Margins by month, gross sales by month. That's your profit tab. On the sales tab, this is the number of sales. So you've got number of sales per month, platform sales by month, so how many on each platform each month, how many from each department each month, category, and sales by brand, as well as profit by brand. That actually should probably be on the profit page. We'll move this to profit. Okay, then sales expenses. Oops. That's what happens when I make edits. Sales expenses, so you've got your fees charged and your shipping expenses. This is per month, the total of what you've paid out in these fees. And then listings, this is your inventory cost by month, so all of your what you've put into it, what you've spent on listings, average cost per month, and average days listed. So just a bunch of pretty little charts that you can use if you upgrade. The other things that come into upgrading, if you upgrade to the paid version, you get pretty colors like this. If you are not on the paid version, you get just this top row of colors. You don't get the rest. There's a few other things that play into it. So each line item, they call it a record. On the free version, you get a total of 1,200 records. When you upgrade, you get like 5,000, I believe. What I would suggest if you don't want to upgrade but you max out of 1200 is you can come back here and literally duplicate your base and go into your new one, clear out all your records, and then maybe make this January through June and July through December. Maybe break up your year. You lose the analytics of, this is everything I've done all year, but that can kind of keep you on the free version if you're wanting to stay on the free version and you do over 1200 listings. Just an option. Let's delete that. And I believe that is it. I can't think of anything else, but if you want to shoot me a question, feel free to reach out to me through Etsy, Facebook Messenger, anything you need. I will be happy to help you. And that's all. Thanks, guys. Bye.